Hey guys, I am currently taking a break because it is 12:30. I came in to eat lunch and it's hot underneath the canopy. I was doing a good bit of sharpening and everything, and I just all of a sudden realized I had a headache and I was overheated. I wet my head, drank a bunch of water, ate something, and I think I'm going to have to take a bit of a break because it is 97 degrees actual here at the house. I set the little thermometer underneath the canopy, and it's registering 104 because the sun's just beating down, and it's like an oven under that canopy, even when I hose the top. So I wanted to do a quick video. I had a pretty interesting knife come in. I was going to show you a couple things that I did, and this really interesting knife that came in, I was going to point out some stuff on another full custom that is different than what I saw on that Chad Nell. So it's not going to be as critical because the things on this knife, I was going to just kind of show you the difference between the things I saw on that knife and what I see on this knife. So there are issues with this knife, and for those of you that have asked, no one stole my cupboards. They were taken down. They are being refinished. When those ones are done, those ones will come down, so you guys will get to see some differences. But like I said, no joke, it is hot. So let's hang on just a second. Let me get everything set up. I will grab them. I'm going to clean off an area so we can look at it top down, and we'll look at these knives, and I'll show you a couple of things that I did refinish wise, but we're going to look at this custom knife real close. So guys, here is the full custom. So now, this is a custom knife. It is a Maskas custom knives, precision knives, I'm sorry. Has a floating, this is a floating backspacer. Unlike what people are like, maybe that backspacer on the Nell was supposed to be floating. No, they were just gaps. This is a floating backspacer. Intentionally done that way, meant to be that way. Zirconium backspacer, zirconium pocket clip, flush cut hardware with a very interesting hollow and then full zero that the customer wanted taken clear up to a mirrored 12,000 grit. I'm not gonna lie, not easy to do on a zero grind. A lot of surface to try and get scratches out. So we'll take a look at this. Comfortable knife in hand, even though it does have a mill clip. I only have really one thing to really kind of say about it when we turn this around, but we'll turn it around and look at it. But before we turn it around and look at it, we'll do it after. We'll talk about those after. So this is, like I said, this is the knife that came in. I get this turned around. I gotta make sure that we've got a good view of it. Nice thick blade stock on it. Look at how thick that is. But ground very well, nice and thin. And then, of course, when you do a zero like that, boy, does it get sharp. All right, hang on just a second, guys. We'll turn this around and we'll take a close look. So, guys, let's take a good close look at this. Zirconium, like I said, zirconium pocket clip and backspacer that is floated. It sits on washers. It's a floating backspacer, even. I'm not seeing anything that's uneven on that backspacer. Well milled, there's a little bit of lint and stuff down in there, but it sits in there nice and even. The grind on it was really good. The only issue I ran into was, I think maybe while the actual grind was done on this, the platen may have had a high spot or a low spot. I mean, because there was a high spot that I had to rectify. I had to take a lot of material off to get that to be fully polished all the way across. Which is, like I said, that's common with zero grinds. Nice satin. The grind marks on this are consistent and even. Well ground, even ground. Edge was on it the edge that was on it was really, really sharp. Comes to an extremely acute point. It's sometimes it happens when you make these that you wind up with a rounded tip. Did not happen on this one. Nice clean lines. Clean lines on those marriage points. The only thing I really see, I don't see any hiccups in this grind. It's a little sharp in places, especially here. Even more so after I sharpen it, but there's not much. Hey, that's me. Not much you can do about that. All this hardware, flush, dead flush. This one can't even feel it. Like, unless you get your thumbnail on it, you cannot feel it. This one, same here. The only thing you can feel is that. The zirconium pocket clip, I'm not seeing. It's polished. Zero grind lines or anything on that. The only issue I see, I did try to put this in my pocket, there's almost no pocket tension. There's almost no pocket clip tension on that clip. That's the only issue that I'm really seeing, except for some sharp lines. It's the only thing I'm seeing. There's some I got some nastiness still in some of the jimping. Jimping. Perfectly straight jimping. No lock stick, I mean. No lock stick that I'm seeing. There may have been some before because I can see that it looks like maybe somebody did the black magic marker trick. But hey, titanium on steel, sometimes it happens. Smooth, super smooth action on this. So, the things that I saw in that Chad Nell that I complained about the lazy, almost laziness to, nothing being chamfered and stuff, this has got a definite different shape to it. Definitely ergonomic. Everything is well rounded. All of the screws are flush to the point, like I said, you can't even feel that it's there unless you use your nail. This one even more so, except for that little spot right there. Just overall, even though I'm not a fan of Tontos, the Americanized Tonto anymore, yeah, it's sharp. Even though I'm not a fan of the Americanized Tonto anymore, it's fingerprints. I got fingerprints on it, and some of my DNA. That is a very well executed blade. So don't know this guy, just like I don't know Chad Nell. I just call him like I see him. The only thing we're going to do is, this is just kind of a blasted finish, and you can see it shows snail trails real easily. So what we're going to do is, this is going to be disassembled, and I'm going to refinish this, and I'm going to give this a stone wash, and it's going to hide some of that. I think we're going to do a stone wash bronze. So yeah, I'm really, action on that is just really awesome, and it is comfortable. Just wish that was a little bit less sharp, but all that jimping is dead straight. None of that, crooked stuff that I saw on that full custom Nell. Now, I don't know how much this was because the owner won this in a lottery. He paid for a ticket, and that was it. So we've got fingerprints. I mean, I want to show off my work too. That 12,000 grit. It just, $12,000 grit, and there's still going to be some tiny scratches in that, but that's about as mirrored as you're going to get that zero grind without using a buffing wheel, which has a tendency to take away from your actual sharpness. It's all done by hand. All right, guys. While we've got this turned around, I wanted to show you what I did. So my hands are wet. Steven sent me this one. Some of you guys saw this on Instagram. Steven sent me this one, and it was just raw titanium, and he wanted to do something special. He wanted to make the wings just pop a little bit more. So what we did was black ceramic, and then I just went to town on, just tumbled it for about 24 hours and left enough of the black down here just to offset. Now it looks like a hieroglyph So that was a pretty cool refinish on that Falcon, on that Wing Falcon. But this one, some of you guys seen these already. This one is the one that, neither one of these finishes were easy. This initially, I had masked these areas off, and these were going to be green, and all of this was going to be black. The problem is, sometimes things in your head seem different. This has already been sharpened. You think you know how they're going to look in your head, but then when you actually do it, they don't quite come out. They don't translate from your head to what you wanted. So what it wound up being was those two spots of green there and there, just those spots, just did not have enough contrast, and you couldn't see any of these other details. So what I did was I just did a satin finish and did it green. Orange peel on this, and then I black ceramic this, and did green anodizing on orange peel there. So I think that came out looking pretty cool. So, all right guys, I am going to take a little bit more of a break. Hopefully it can cool off a little bit out there. I just need to get a little bit of the, as the sun crests over the house, I'll start getting some shade on that canopy. If you have knives with me, Leon, your knives are here. And Charles Anderson, your knives are here. So your stuff is all here, guys. Just gonna get started on some of the refinish on some of this stuff probably Thursday, and then probably work this weekend. So that's pretty much it, guys. That's it for this video. I just wanted to show a contrast from one custom knife to another. Now, I have not looked into Maskas precision knives to see how they're doing it, but I mean, you can't argue that is a well put together knife. Only two issues that I really found with it. There is a little bit of lock stick now that I'm feeling it. There's a little bit, but the action is, I think it's smoother than my Archbishop, which I just took apart and put back together, so the lube has got to work its way back down into the bearings. So other than that, guys, that's it. Put up a video about pocket clips if I offended anyone. I'd like to say I'm sorry, but I'm not, so too bad. It's just the way it is. Alright guys, you guys take it easy. I have another video that I'm getting put together for patrons, and it's basically just knives that are for sale that are getting offered to them first. So you guys take it easy. I will talk to you next time.